Hello and welcome to World Talks here on TVP World. I'm your host, Marie Kate. The crisis in the Middle East remains volatile, sending unpredictable ripples across the globe. Amidst this instability, Volodymyr Zelenskyy is working to ensure Ukraine's military needs aren't sidelined. Interestingly, Ukrainian anti-drone expertise has become a hot commodity in the region as Iranian-backed forces square off against the US and Israel. To discuss Ukraine's evolving role in the Middle East, I'm joined by Rostyslav Khotin, senior editor of the Ukrainian Service at Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty. Hello, and thank you very much for joining us.
Hello, Marie.
So let's begin with the consequences of Kyiv sending its drones to the Middle East. What are your thoughts on that?
First of all, Ukraine is sending not only drones, but also the groups of experts. Ukraine has received already 6 requests from regional countries, from Jordan to Gulf states. And apparently, according to Zelenskyy, Ukrainians already are in Jordan defending U.S. military bases there. But also, Ukrainian experts are heading to Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. In general, Ukraine received 6 requests from regional players because Ukraine has expertise during 4 years of Russian full-scale invasion of Ukraine. About 57,000 Shahed drones provided by Iran initially and now produced in Russia have been launched to Ukraine. So Ukraine had to intercept almost 60,000 Shahed drones. It has enormous expertise in intercepting them. First of all, Ukraine has very powerful and quite significant weapons against Shahed. It's intercepted drone called Octopus. Also, the Ukrainian drone Sting is very popular and effective. So Ukraine thinks, first of all, that Ukraine has ability to protect these countries against Iranian drones and to help them to boost partnership with Gulf states, with Arab countries in general. And this week, the head of Ukraine's Security and Defense Council, Rustem Umerov, who is actually Ukrainian Tatar, who is Muslim, was in the region, touring the regional capitals in the Gulf states with a group of experts. So Ukrainians are heading there to protect not just American military bases, because Americans have their own resources, but these countries and energy infrastructure, other infrastructures of these civilian infrastructures against Iranian drones. Americans are sending, at the same time, Americans are sending 10,000 Merops drones, interceptor drones, American-made, to the region. But these American interceptor drones were also tested in Ukraine against Shaheds. Russians call them Geran drone, not Shahed, but Geran. They localized production in Tatarstan, in the Republic of Tatarstan, in Volga region. So American interceptor drones also have been tested in Ukrainian war against Russia.
So the Gulf states are welcoming Ukraine's expertise, but all this while, Donald Trump says that the US doesn't need Ukraine's expertise. What do you think of that attitude?
First of all, as Zelenskyy said, rhetoric is a rhetoric, kind of, never mind, kind of. That was his reaction in Paris yesterday. But nevertheless, Americans do not need Ukrainian anti-drone protection for their military bases. But these countries, Arab states of the Gulf region and in the wider Middle East, they need Ukrainian protection. Because Americans could defend their own military installation, their own military bases. But for these countries, when Saudi oil infrastructure or Dubai or Qatar, civilian infrastructure in Qatar is targeted, they need protection. Americans can't, they will be overstretched. So these Arab countries, they need Ukrainian expertise, they need Ukrainian experts, they need Ukrainian interceptor drones.
Now that Ukraine is getting involved in the Middle East, how do you think that this will change Ukraine's position? Will it strengthen it, be it diplomatically or in real terms? What does it mean for its relationship with the US?
Because Iran provided Russia with tens of thousands of Shahed drones, and because Iranian hostile attitude towards Ukraine and Iranian staunch support of Iranian leadership of Russian aggression against Ukraine, Ukraine is one of the countries which are kind of praying for a regime change in Iran. President Zelenskyy met Iranian Prince Reza Pahlavi for the second time during 2 months. He met him first during Munich Security Conference. Now, yesterday in Paris, in the Ukrainian embassy in Paris. So Ukraine would desperately wants the regime change in Iran because Iranian regime is extremely hostile towards Ukraine and extremely supportive of Russian aggression. So first of all, Ukraine wants regime change. Ukraine wants to normalize relations with Iran in the future, free Iran, possibly after imminent regime change in the future. And also Ukraine wants to help Arab countries of the region to strengthen strategic partnership with Saudi Arabia, Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, and other countries, because Ukraine needs alternative oil for the future, but also Ukraine wants these countries, which are rich countries, of course, because of oil and gas revenues, to take part in post-war modernization and rebuilding of Ukraine. Ukraine desperately needs money from this region to rebuild itself after the end of Russian aggression. So that's why Ukraine is keen also to help these countries to intercept Iranian drones.
So about half a year ago, the US actually rejected the Ukrainian proposal of sending Kiev's interceptor drones. So what do you make of that?
Yeah, Ukrainians were quite surprised, and now this rejection is constantly noticed and referred to in the Ukrainian media. Kind of, they said, how come that you didn't forecast, foresee that Iran will use drones massively? And it was taken with a sense of pity that Americans didn't listen to Ukraine, because it was clear if you are preparing attacks, strikes against Iran, you should know that Iran will retaliate. And Iran will retaliate with missiles and drones, because Iran is a powerful drone manufacturer. If Russia received drones from Iran, it means that Iran is a valued partner in terms of drone technology and ability to produce drones. But now, interesting trend is also visible, that Russia is helping Iran with intelligence information, but also guiding Iranian drones against providing location of targets in the Middle East, but also sending probably expertise to Iran how practically use Shahed drones, because Iran had them but didn't have expertise, expertise of how to use them properly in a combat situation. Russia has this experience, so Russia is sharing this experience now with Iran, helping in reverse to Iran now how to strike with the drones.
Now, I just wanted to talk about the global oil prices. So the sanctions that the US had actually imposed on Russia, there's a month-long sanction waiver. And we hear that this waiver is actually not going to benefit Russia. What do you actually think of Washington's decision and their reassurance that it won't benefit Russia? It's a carefully tailored decision. Zelenskyy doesn't think that this is a good idea of peace, but at the same time, we hear from the Financial Times that Moscow has already received a windfall of $1.3 billion to about approximately $1.9 billion in taxes from these oil exports.
Yeah, this decision by the United States was taken with a kind of feel of sadness by Ukrainians. They think that it will boost Russian oil revenues, petrodollars coming to Russian state coffers, to Russian state budget. Zelenskyy even named the number that in total Russia will earn because of the sanction waiver $10 billion during 1 month. We'll see. Some experts say that this figure is highly exaggerated. It's extremely exaggerated. Russia will get revenues, of course, but not to that point of $10 billion. We'll see. It will work. This waiver will only work for 1 month, only for oil, which is already in tankers at the seas. We'll see. Ukraine wants this Iranian war to stop as soon as possible, but achieving its stated goals for 2 reasons. First of all, it diverts attention from Ukraine, from Russian war against Ukraine. Even now, delegations, we don't know date and place of the talks between Ukraine, Russia, and the United States, next round of talks, because of Iranian war. There is no clarity here. Secondly, Ukraine wants Iranian war to end as soon as possible because of growing oil prices, more than $100 per barrel already. Oil prices stands now. So Ukraine wants Russia not to earn a lot of money because of Iranian, American-Israeli campaign against Iran, so that not to boost the Russian military sector because of this unexpected sudden increase of oil revenues.
Now, just as we wrap up, I wanted to ask you, there have been some unconfirmed reports of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu having been killed in an Iranian bombing a few days ago, for that matter. What do you think of those reports? If that emerges as true, what do you think that actually means for this conflict and, broadly speaking, for the Middle East?
It's difficult to say. It's too many unconfirmed reports. We only know that the Iranian top leadership was killed in the first day of campaign on the 28th of February. Ukraine welcomed this move, by the way. We know that now there is a bounty of $10 million for someone who will help to provide exact location of the new Iranian supreme leader, Moshtaba Khamenei, and also Khamenei. And so we'll see how it goes, but it's difficult to explain. Situation is very shaky, too many unconfirmed reports. The only thing I can say is that Ukraine desperately wants a regime change in Iran. Ukraine desperately wants to see new Iran after this theocratic regime, which was there for almost half a century.
Okay, Rostyslav Khotin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for World Talks this morning. Thank you so much for joining us, and stay tuned for much more on TVP World.